So today guys, I'm coming at you with 5 meta 2-striker formations that you should be running right now on FC25 to get you more wins. Now, do I recommend that you run only 2-striker formations at all times? Absolutely not. I think you should have variation so that you've got more chance of beating an opponent, whoever comes in front of you. However, currently, Team of the Season's on. There are so many amazing looking strikers that you might want to give a try to, and maybe a 2-striker formation is the way to go so that you can fit them all in to your beautiful looking squad. So that's why today I'm going to give you 5 meta 2-striker formations that are guaranteed to get you more wins. But not only that, these are 5 formations that you can use during the same game. So they're going to be all set out so that you can have all 5 running at the same time and switch between one to the other depending on how your opponent plays so that you get that win. And hopefully at some point I'll actually get to finish this goddamn series because I started it once and then EA released a patch nerfing the 95 depth. So I've had to play test all these formations, a load of new different formations to see if things still work. But anyway guys, as always with these videos, we're going to start with a balanced formation, and you should always kick off a game with a balanced formation. A formation that gives you time to suss out how your opponent plays. Are they a high presser? Are they a Tiki-Taka passer? Are they balls over the top? So that then you can adapt. You want a formation that's great offensively, but also great defensively. So to achieve this in a 2-striker formation, we're embracing our inner Sean Dyche, our inner Sam Allardyce. We're going for the beautiful 4-4-2 flat. A classic, I might add. Oh, full English breakfast time, this one. Yeah, it's known as boring football, the 4-4-2, but it's just incredible on FC25. Really good defensively, you defend in 2 banks of 4, but on the attack you get plenty of players, 6 players all in the attack, all in good positions to do passing football, direct tiki-taka, get in behind and score those goals. And for the build-up style, like with most of the formations in this video and any future video I do, counter is the new meta. There are times where you can use different build-up styles and they work well depending on the formation or what you're trying to achieve. But for the majority of formation, for the majority of gamers, counter is best. The meta at the moment is defending low, getting the ball back when your opponent makes a mistake and then just bombing forward. With the pace these Team of the Season cards have got, it's just a case that if you're running counter, they're getting into their attacking position, they're with the ball position faster, you're going to end up scoring more goals and getting more wins. And it's a similar situation with the line height, man. I mean, I don't touch this barely ever anymore unless I'm trying something completely crazy. 70 high is just the way to go now. It's the best line height you can have. Unless you are in the 70th, 80th minute and you're pushing for a win, bump it up to 100, man. It doesn't matter about stamina or anything like that. But for your balanced bread and butter formation, high 70 is what you want to be running. Perfect line height for good defensive structure, as well as being able to play people offside when necessary and get on the counter quickly. For the player roles in this 4-4-2, your goalkeeper, personal preference. Both your fullbacks are on fullback and defend. Both your centre-backs are on defender, defend. Both your central midfielders are on box-to-box and balanced. Both your wingers are on inside forward and balanced. One of your strikers is on advanced forward and support, with the other being on advanced forward and attack. And here's what it looks like with the ball, guys. And as you can see, it should be a formation that looks familiar. It's a more attacking 4-2-2. Itself a great formation, not going to lie. But for balance, this formation works perfectly. So on all balanced formations, you want your fullbacks to be on fullback defend. You don't want them bombing forward, making runs forward, or making runs too far wide. They're just going to get caught out of position. And with how meta the counter attack and the fast counter is right now, you want this line of 4 from the start, staying in a position. You don't want them bombing forward. You don't want them coming out of that position. You want that defensive solidity at all times so you can stop those counters and concede less goals. And in the same breath, that's why we're using our centre-backs on defender defend. I don't run anything else in any formation, no matter what I'm trying to achieve. Defender defend is the best role. For all 4 of these players, you want fast, strong, physical, good defensive players. You don't need them to be that good at passing, getting forward, anything like that. These are your defensive line. They'll never push forward. They'll never come out of that line unless you make them. And it just makes it more difficult for your opponent to ping those through balls through and score easy goals against you. And now I flirt with different things with ECM, so it's very much personal preference. I have very much settled post-patch that box to box on both works really well. It just gives me more attacking options. But what I would say is is if you're a little bit more of a conservative player, or if you struggle with defending, you could always set this one to something like deep line playmaker or holding even, something you've got a plus in, and they will just sit back a little bit more and offer a bit more protection to your defence. But I think box to box is really underrated. I think if you can hold the ball up in the defence long enough, these two sit really deep as they are on box to box, but with the added bonus is when you attack, they'll push forward and push their way into the box, which means you're attacking with 6 players. It's just a no-brainer for me, running them both on box to box, having more of an attacking presence, scoring more goals, winning more games. Nice and simple. Both your wingers are on inside forward balance for the simple reason that it just gets them a little bit closer to your strikers, and it just gives you more options in the attack. You can run them on winger and it works really well as well, but I found that doing that you're just a little bit isolated in the middle, especially without a cam, whereas when you've got these two on inside forward, they'll sort of step into that pocket, the box to box CMs will push forward as well, and then you've got plenty of options to do little triangles, get the ball in the box and score a goal. But yeah, I've had an absolute blast using this formation since the 95 depth nerf. It works so well, you get that little bit more space on the ball, and it is just perfection in the attack. The amount of through balls you play, balls in behind that are on, it's just incredible for attacking, but whilst maintaining that good defensive structure so that it doesn't become like arcadey football. You'll win more games 4-0 than you'll win 8-7. So here's the code on screen for you now, guys, if you want to give it a go yourself, and I strongly recommend you do. If you're looking for a 2-striker balanced formation, the 4-4-2 is incredible. It'll attack really well, defend really well, players are always where you expect them to be, and you will get a load of wins with it. But sometimes you'll go into a game, guys, and your balanced formation, it just isn't working. You're under the cosh constantly. You really feel like every counter's just coming against you. You just wave after wave of relentless attacks. Well, in that scenario, I actually always run a defensive formation in my tactics that I switch to if I'm being overrun. So if they're playing ultra attacking, I can play a little bit more defensively, get sort of a solid back going, and then just hit them on the counter when I win the ball back. And to do that, well, I ran the 4-4-2 as my balanced formation and almost wet my pants with something not wee about it. So what do you think? I'll let you guess. What do you think my defensive formation is? Well, it's the 4-4-2 holding, of course. What else would it be? Yeah, I've actually never ran this formation on the channel, nor did I ever run it with the 95 depth. I just always ran the 4-4-2, and for defensive I ran a 5-back. I got a comment on my last video that I did of this saying that people were really struggling to convert to a 5-back. I just got lucky with how my team was laid out, so I thought I'd find a defensive 4-back formation, and this is it, man. This is an incredible formation post-patch. It runs like a 4-4-2, but you have that little bit more defensive solidity with the CDMs where they are. Again, we're going to run counter for the build-up style. It's a defensive formation, but you don't just want to be all-out defense. When you win that ball back, you want to still be able to create opportunities. And for the line height, we're still going 70, even though it's defensive and a high approach. I know some people will lower it. That's personal preference, man. For a defensive formation, you could definitely run balanced and it would still work well, and at least you're a little bit further back. It just doesn't work for me, man. Personal preference here, but I still think 70 is perfect. You're still in a good position defensively. You still stop those through balls, but just when I get the ball back, I feel like my players are in a lot better position to then go forward and create me an opportunity. For the player roles, again, your goalkeeper is personal preference. Both your fullbacks, again, are on fullback defend. Both your centre-backs, again, on defender defend. Both your holding midfielders are on holding and defend, with both your wingers on inside forward and balanced. One of your strikers is on advanced forward and support, with the other being on advanced forward and attack. And here's what it looks like with the ball, guys. And as I said, the 4-4-2 looked like a more attacking 4-2-2. This looks identical to a 4-2-2 with how it's laid out with the ball. So I hear you ask, why don't you just run the 4-2-2? Well, it's a very good reason, and it's these midfielders, the left mid and the right mid. So with a left mid and a right mid, they start wider and they make an incisive diagonal run, which I think works better in a defensive formation, and they also track back a lot more. Whereas with cams, they will just stay up the pitch. No matter what you do, no matter what role you put them in, they're there to be in the pocket. On the right hand side, left hand side, central, doesn't matter. So I find that defensively, right mids and left mids just offer me a lot more. But your defensive line, exact same reasons, man. It's a defensive formation. You want to be as defensive as possible. So you run them all on fullback defend or defender defend to keep that line solid, stop the opponent from making easy through balls in behind you, stop those counters from coming through, and stop you from conceding as many goals. Now for both your DMs, I run hold in defend on this one, and that's because this is a defensive formation. This formation is actually really versatile. Like, you could use this as your balance formation and just tweak some things, probably put one of the holding midfielders a bit more box to boxy, but that's not how I use this formation. I want this to be my defensive formation, the formations that's going to stop those counters coming constantly from my opponent, make me more solid at the back, and holding defend is just the way to do that, man. They won't go barging forward, they don't go running forward. When you've got the ball, they'll sort of sit close to the halfway line, and their sole focus will be defending your back four, making those interceptions, making those blocks, making those runs to cover. They're absolutely incredible on holding defend CDMs, especially post-patch. You've got two of them here. You're defending a line of six. It's going to make you really difficult to break down, no matter how your opponent plays. But in this formation, this is why your front line, your front four, is as important as in probably any of the other formations, because you're going to have less attackers. It's a defensive formation. It is the way it is. You want to protect your back four, you're going to have to sacrifice some offence, which means that these four players have to be really good. So your inside forwards need to be agile, good at dribbling, good at going past players, but also able to shoot, because if they get the opportunity, they will cut inside the fullback and they will be able to finesse, run in behind, do a low driven. And then you need two pacey, good physically strikers so that you can get the support, get those goals, and at least have an offensive threat. If you don't have four good players here, this isn't going to work, because you'll be too defensive, which will mean that you don't concede, it'll do its job, but you'll have no chance of actually scoring yourself. So yeah guys, if you find that you are under the cosh a little bit, maybe your opponent's just actually better than you, it happens to us all, then maybe switching to a defensive formation is the way to go. And this one's perfect running with the 4-4-2, because usually you can run the exact same play as the 4-4-2 had and just make it a little bit more defensive and play a lot more on the counter. But here's the code for you guys on screen now. If you want to give it a go yourselves, I strongly recommend you do if you're looking for a defensive formation, especially after the patch. This works super well. Now, almost like I planned it, guys, this next formation is what I use to counter people that are playing like the previous formation, where it's ultra defensive. You're coming to get someone with a super low block, they're just interested on hitting you on the counter. I actually run a formation called counter, funnily enough. It's not all about countering though. What this is more is a fast counter attack, where you get the ball back and you just absolutely overload your opponent. No matter how defensive they're playing, you will have more attackers than they have defenders. You'll have a ridiculous amount of options to pass to, play the ball forward and score loads of goals. And the formation I use for this is the 4-1-2-1-2 wide, and I created this formation in its entirety, and if you've watched my videos before, you'll know where this is going. It's still incredible. For the build-up style, like with most formations, we're going to go counter again. The line height has dropped from 95 that I originally used, and it is now running on 70, just for stamina reasons, but it still works insanely well. For your player roles, your goalkeeper, again, personal preference. One of your fullbacks is on false back and defend, with the other being on fullback and defend. Both your centre backs are on defender, defend. Your CDM is on deep line playmaker and defend. Both your wingers are on winger and balanced, with your cam being on shadow striker and attack. And in this formation, both your forwards are on advanced forward attack. And here's what it looks like with the ball, guys, and this is exactly the reason I created it, because the 3-5-2 has always been a favourite attacking formation of mine. I've always loved using it, but 3 at the back formations on FC25 are just absolute dog poo. So I had to make a way of doing it myself, and this 4-1-2-1-2 wide converts perfectly into this 3-5-2, and it just works so well in the attack. When you get the ball and when you're on the counter, or when you're just starting your build-up, winger, I can't get to them for some reason. Awesome. I love FC25. Great game. Wingers just stay on the right and left-hand side. They hug the byline and they just bomb forward. And what it means is that you're running in an attacking line of 5, and it sort of becomes like an arrow formation as you attack, which means that it's so easy to go from right to left, left to right, and always have an option on to shoot. And it just, it's beautiful in the attack. If you haven't tried this yet, you've got to give it a go. Now, 2 crucial plus in this formation are your false back and your fullback defend. Because it is a little bit different to your traditional 4 at the back, you need them to get into this position really well, which the plus helps with, and also play this position really well. And as you can see with the ball, it looks like your holding midfielders are an absolute mile away from the attack. But they don't actually do this. They sit sort of on the halfway line when you have the ball, which means that you're really well covered against the quick counter because you've got 5 players quite narrow. They're going to have to go out to the wings, and it gives you time to get back into your defensive formation where you've got 4 defenders and you're just a lot more solid at the back, with this holding midfielder protecting the back 4. So here's the code on screen for you now, guys. Give it a try yourselves. I promise you won't regret it. Absolutely incredible formation and so much fun to play with. Now, you guys that have been watching the channel before know that I don't like really playing the arcadey style of FC25. I prefer traditional tiki-taka, good build-up play, smooth passing to create my chances. I'm not all about the 4-2-1-3 bombing in behind and scoring just meta overhead kicks and crap like that. It just doesn't work for me. It doesn't tickle my private parts. But what I would say is that I always like to run a tiki-taka formation in my variation. If I'm coming into a game and it's so chaotic, like it's end-to-end stuff, it's constant ping passes, it becomes a bit too much. It becomes too hard to concentrate. So I like to get that control back. And the way I do that is by running a tiki-taka formation. And this one I've been running for the last 2 weeks, and I absolutely love it. The formation is the 4-1-2-1-2 narrow variation. So you should have the players on your bench to convert into the 4-1-2-1-2 wide or the 4-1-2-1-2 narrow. Works either way, which is great. For the build-up style, we're actually going to go short passing here. It's a very compact formation, so you want to keep it compact. So you're going to have your players coming short, staying close together, and always offering a tiki-taka pass. And you're going to get bored of me saying this, but the line height's 70, and it's going to be pretty much all the time. For the player roles, your goalkeeper is going to be on personal preference. Both your fullbacks are actually on wing-back and support in this formation, with both your centre-backs being on defender-defend. Your holding midfielder is on holding and defend, with both your CMs being on box-to-box and balanced. Your cam is on playmaker and balanced, and both your forwards are on advanced forward and attack. And here's what it looks like with the ball, guys. And I know it looks insane. It goes into a 2-3-2-1-2. Yeah, madness. But this is what you want a tiki-taka formation to look like. Everyone compact, as close together as possible without tripping over each other, so that there's always a quick tiki-taka passing option. Defenders can go to the wing-back support, can go to the DM, and then there's a triangle everywhere. Triangle out of defence, triangle to the cam, triangle between the cam and strikers, and obviously 2 box-to-box CMs will be pushing forward as well. And it just, it's so good. You get so many options in the attack, but you can just play beautiful, beautiful football. With the amount of passing options you have on at all times, it's really difficult for your opponents to keep control of the ball, and it nullifies that arcadey style of football. They just can't do it. You're too narrow. They're going to have to go out to the wing, and because you're so narrow, your wing backs will often cut out the through ball, or one of your box-to-box midfielders will be pushing up and keeping them penned in, which means that they're going to have to go long. And you just get the ball back, win the control back, and just control possession again, tiki-taka your way all the way up front until you score a goal. One of the most fun formations that I've used personally, because I love tiki-taka football. So if you're into that sort of thing, if you like smooth, fun build-up play, this formation's definitely one you should give a try. And here's the code on screen for you now, so you can do just that. Let me know what you think about this one, guys. I haven't actually reviewed this one on the channel, just come up with it since the patch, and yeah, I've had a ton of fun with it. But if you want me to go more in depth, just drop a comment down below and I'll pop a video on so you can see it in action. Now for the final formation, guys, I always like to have an all-out attack formation. No matter how good a player you are, there will come times where you're losing in the 70th, 75th minute. There's no point going on to lose the same amount. If what you're trying is not working, you may as well have an all-out attack formation in your variation so that you can at least try and get back in the game. You might be losing 2-0, hell, you might then go on to lose 5-0, but you might also go on to draw 2-2 or even go on to win the game with a good all-out attack formation. And now I've always used the 4-2-4 for this, which I guess a lot of you guys that have watched this series before would have probably expected me to pop in, but it's actually not going to be. What we're going to run is the 4-2-2, an amazing formation. Post-patch, I've just come to love this formation so much more than I did before. Because you've got that more space with your cams and your CDMs, there's just so many attacking moves that are made in this formation. It is beautiful. Obviously, we're all out attack, so we're going to go counter. It's going to be rare that you win the ball back anyway. You're going to have to be under the cosh a lot. So when you do, you want all your players bombing forward into those attacking positions as soon as possible. The line height is still high 70 because that gives me a chance of at least still defending some bits if I switch to this maybe in the 60th minute. And I'll let you in on a little secret. Sometimes I just start with this and try and win 3-0 and make people rage quit. I have to create a lot of content, okay? I don't want to play for fun very often, so when I need to get the results out and get the grind done, I just start with the ultra attacking on 70. But if you are switching to this in sort of the 70th, 75th minute, there's nothing wrong with bumping this up to 95 and just getting the line height so high that you pen your opponent in and score more goals. For the player roles, your goalkeeper as always is personal preference. One of your fullbacks is going to be on attacking, wingback and balanced, with the other being on fullback and defend. Both your centre backs are on defender, defend. Both your CDMs are on deep line playmaker and build up, with one of your cams being on half winger and balanced, and the other being on shadow striker and attack. And both your forwards are going to be on advanced forward and attack. And here's what it looks like with the ball, guys, and it looks very similar to my counter formation where I go into a 3-5-2, which there's a good reason. It's an incredible formation on the attack. If I'm going all out attack, I want an attacking formation I love. But it doesn't actually look like this in the attack at all. So your deep line playmakers actually push up to probably around where this cam is. They become a bit like a box to box, but they don't actually penetrate the box. They stay a little bit back for the recycle ball. And this cam doesn't usually end up here. They usually end up on the right side of attack. And then these two sort of end up in the right and left striker. So it actually, what I would say is on the build-up, it's more like a 3-4-3, which is an attacking formation in itself. Really attacking 3-4-3. You get 5 players in the attack, plus these 2 players on the edge of the box for the recycle. You're going to score a ton of goals. Obviously, you'll be susceptible defensively, hence why I put this fullback on fullback defend, in the hope that at least with 3 centre-backs, I'll have more of a chance of winning the ball back. But that's not what it's about, man. When you get the ball, you want all-out attacking options so that you get a chance to score the goals and get yourself back in that game. But I strongly recommend, guys, whatever formations you run, whatever tactics, I would always have an all-out attack formation in my repertoire to switch to if I'm losing, because goal difference doesn't matter on this game, man. You may as well go out fighting. So here's the code for this one. It's ultra fun, really fun to use. You are going to struggle, you are going to concede sometimes, but the amount of chances you create is definitely worth it. But there you have it, guys. 5 meta formations that are going to help you get more wins if you're looking to run 2 striker formations. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to drop it a like. It helps me out no end, and it also helps other people see it and helps them get more wins. Let's be a nice FIFA community. And what I would say, guys, if you try out any of these formations, don't forget to drop a comment down below. I'd love to hear from you guys. And likewise, if you're running anything weird and wonderful, drop me a code. I'd love to give it a go for a video. And if you are new around here and any of these formations have helped you, or if you've just enjoyed seeing my beautiful face, why not subscribe? More FC25 content every couple of days. Anyway, hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye!